Yo, what's up, YouTube? And welcome back to the Knicks Cave. I'm Jan and Nick Fan, your host, and let's get right into it. But before we get into it, I want you to do me one small favor. I want you to hit that like button, and yes, I definitely want you to subscribe, leave a comment. You want to know when the next video going to drop, hit the notification bell. All right, before we go on further, I want to say congratulations to the Boston Celtics. I do not take pleasure in congratulating Boston and anything. I don't care whether it be their football, hockey, baseball, basketball team. That's New York, true rivalry. Boston, you know what I'm saying? I know Chicago was on top, you know what I'm saying? Then you go to the Lakers in the championship. But the biggest rivalry, in my opinion, for the New York Knicks is Boston. And I don't take pleasure in congratulating them, but they are an East Coast team, and I'm that type of guy. Yes, I'm a New York Knicks fan first, but I'm also an East Coast guy. So whenever it's a West Coast, East Coast thing, I'm always rolling with the East. I didn't watch the first couple of games. I'm gonna be real because it was hard for a real, true blue New York Knicks fan to sit there and watch the Green perform the way they did. But I got to thinking about the way Boston played, the way they put their team together, who they have as their coach, and that's all going to factor in and the New York Knicks off season. So with that being said, let's get into this video real quick. I'm gonna start this video off because y'all see the narrative here. I'm gonna hit y'all with a small part of an interview. I'm pretty sure some of y'all have seen, most of you probably seen Jalen Brunson having an interview. I forget the young lady's name. And they're talking about various things, his hand, Tibbs, the team, everything they're talking about. But we're going to concentrate on one thing. Like I said, it's the narrative. We're going to concentrate on that narrative, that what everybody's been focusing on. So with that being said, let's get into this video real quick. Once again, congratulations, Boston, on your 18th championship. I did not enjoy saying that. Trust me, I did not. All right, let's get into this video real quick. Like I said, the narrative.
That people are misunderstanding about Tibbs. How have 3 years in a row he has been voted the coach that players least likely want to play for?
A narrative that has stuck with him since probably Derek got hurt. And it's unfortunate that that whole situation happened, but that narrative, once a narrative hits you, it's kind of hard to shake it unless you do something drastic. And so I feel like if we win, that narrative could wipe from Tibbs. Like it's just, it is how it is.
All right. First thing I'm gonna say is Jalen Brunson kind of didn't answer her question. He went straight to, the narrative of Tibbs overplaying his players and Derrick Rose getting hurt. That's really that's his narrative. That's what his response was. And I'm gonna get to the other narrative because there is two narratives in this video, but we're gonna talk about the narrative that everybody been talking about, that I talk about myself on this channel. First one being is the overuse of players. You know what I'm saying? So let's be real. Derrick Rose, Luol Deng, Carlos Boozer, Joakim Noah, and I didn't put his photo up here, but Jimmy Butler. We're going to talk about these 5 players for 1 second. Then we're going to get to the real narrative that I'm worrying about because it's off season. And this is why I made this video, episode number 4 of New York Knicks off season. I think it's going to play a big part in the Knicks off season. So first, we're going to talk about the narrative that everybody been talking about. And some people just don't want to believe or take it into account on how far Tibbs teams can go. Now, one thing I want to point out, Tibbs is one of the winningest coaches in the NBA right now, in the NBA history. But is he getting there by sacrificing players' health? Think about it. One have to think about that. Now, Derrick Rose, cannot lie, had his best, his most successful times under Tibbs. You know what I'm saying? His best career under Tibbs. But as a rookie, he averaged 37 minutes. Second year, 36 minutes. We see what happened. A lot of people still don't want to blame it on the overusage. I personally do. You know what I'm saying? Your body is not meant to do the things that we do. You know what I'm saying? When we play basketball, football, you know what I'm saying? Every time you get on the field or court, you are taking a major risk. Your body's just not made to do these things. So when players get out there and they play at a level that most of us would never get. When I mean level, I mean the intensity. I mean, we be on the court, we play basketball. It's hard. I'm not me no more, but you know how it was when you was young back in days on the court. You thought you was an NBA player. But just imagine the intensity that they play. So the stress that they putting on the cartilage, the bone, their muscles, everything in their body. And to have to go out there and do this constantly 37, 38, 40 minutes per game, it takes a toll. I don't care what nobody say. Lou Ardain never been the same after Tibbs. Carlo Boozer, after he left and went to his next team, the Utah Jazz, he missed over 100-something games in 6 seasons. And Joakim Noah, we already know what he was because he came to the New York Knicks. And he was a shadow of himself after playing for Tom Thibodeau. Now, I know everybody want to keep saying that that's a myth and this is the narrative, but you have to look at facts, and facts don't lie. Under Tom Thibodeau, players broke down, careers ended, stars no longer shine as brightly as they used to. It has to be said. And once again, I'm going to say one of the winningest coach in the NBA, but is he sacrificing players' health for his legacy? One have to think. All right, let's get back into the narrative. And what I mean by that, let's talk about the real narrative. Because we're going to talk about why NBA players hate Tibbs. Because you notice, like I said, Jalen Brunson skipped over that question. The question was, why did players voted Tibbs most a coach that they didn't want to play for? Let's put it right there. Now, we're going to talk about last year. And you look at these numbers, right? And first thing you're going to see that 77 players vote. I want to point that out. 77 players voted in last year's survey the coach least wanted to play for. And Tibbs finished with 46.3% of the vote. So out of 450 players, because that's active in the NBA, there's 450 players throughout the league active on a season. So that's 77 players, which add to 17% of players that took that survey that said they didn't want to play for Tom Thibodeau. And I know that's a small percentage right there when you look at it. But you have to think about this. He won this. Well, in this survey, he came number one 3 times, 3 years in a row. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the chart from 2021-22, but I have 2023 and I have 2022-23. And this one, look at it. The percentage is lower, but more players participate in this survey. And out of 450 players, 196 players took this survey. And the percentage is 43.6. Now, 196 players took this survey. And you have players on this team, I'm just going to point this out, that have been defending Tom Thibodeau. But let's go back 2 years or maybe 3 years when they wasn't on this team. Were they a part of that survey? Now, the players we do have, we got mostly through trades, and we got through recruitment, which Dante was recruited by Brunson and Hart. Now, Isaiah Hartenstein, he came when his value was low. Teams didn't see him or value him the way the Knicks didn't value him. But the Knicks didn't know they was getting the player that they got. And now he's looking for $100 million. But was he one of the players that took that survey? You have to wonder. Like I said, 43% is not a low number. I mean, it's not the whole NBA, but that means that there are players out there that do not want to play for Tibbs. Now, the narrative is that Tibbs overused his players and break them down. And I said that earlier on my video. Now, I'm not trying to contradict myself, but we're going to talk about why this survey was taken. And the survey was taken because this is how players feel about Tom Thibodeau right here. He plays his guy 44 minutes all year. If he likes you, if you're his guy, he'll treat you great. But if you're on the outside, you're not getting back in. Anonymous players on a player poll voting Tom Thibodeau coach they least want to play for. Now, you have to take that into account because let's think about the offseason. Let's think about the offseason because when we go out there to get players, we're not trading for players. So they don't have to come to the New York Knicks. It's their choice. Now, if you have players feeling like the way they're feeling, are they going to be willing to sign with the New York Knicks? Now, Trust me, I'm pretty sure there were some big names that took that survey. And you got to think about other teams and the way they rest their players. Coach Popovic, we got that rule with, sitting out players because of them teams was resting Kawhi Leonard and stars, you know what I'm saying? Because they know in order to reach that the goal, what you want, the championship, your players got to be in top, if not at least 80% healthy when you get into the playoffs. You can't burn them out. Once again, in my heart, I believe if Julius Randle hadn't got hurt, and and I don't care what nobody said, I straight out blame Tom Thibodeau because we was up 25 points with less than 5 minutes in that game. There's no reason Julius Randle should have been in the game. Now, this is what I'm saying. Y'all keep talking about is a narrative, but at one point you got to say it's the truth. Now, once again, I'm gonna say Tom Thibodeau is one of the most winningest coaches in NBA right now. Probably got more wins than damn near every coach. But at the same time, is he sacrificing the health of players to build his legacy? And I know every coach won a championship, so I know that might sound a little contradicting, but the evidence speaks for itself. Tell me what y'all think in the comments. And with that being said, I want everybody to stay safe, stay healthy, God bless, and peace.